Welcome back. I'm still riding high from the glory of the Lionesses, which is our name for the England women's World Cup team, national team. We were very excited to be in the final. Unfortunately, we did lose to Spain. We don't get enough of a mention in this article, but then I guess it's not really about us.
No.
Unfortunately, it's about the winners. They were jubilant. They were euphoric. Of course, they just won the World Cup. They played an amazing game. You know, it was a triumphant moment until the president of Spain's National Football Association came up to one of the players and gave her a big kiss.
On the lips.
On the lips, yes. This was, he did not ask if he could do this. He did not seem to give her any option or choice in the matter. He just grabbed her and planted his mouth on hers. She was, I guess, you know, in the moment of, you know, just having won the World Cup, so she didn't react immediately. She continued on with her celebrations on the pitch, took the trophy, but immediately after the game, she spoke out against Rubiales, the supposed representative or head of Spanish women's football. She complained that this was non-consensual. She did not want this. She absolutely rejected this, and she would be taking matters further. She thought this was absolutely unacceptable behavior. And so did a lot of people.
Yeah.
Her entire team supported her from the beginning. Almost everyone who works in sort of Spanish national football also complained about this man's behavior. He, rather than acknowledge, apologize, you know, promise to do better, defended himself, saying that his behavior was completely fine and appropriate. Nobody really agreed with that, though, except, no, there was one guy, I think the head coach was on Rubiales' side. Everyone else was on the player's side.
But the organization themselves were on his side.
Oh, I suppose, yeah.
He's the president, sorry. I
guess
I meant.
I suppose, I meant the people who
Oh,
work,
yeah.
the coaches and the staff on that,
Exactly,
the
yeah,
player
yeah.
side. I suppose the executive level, yes, they got involved in some really shady behavior. You know, they kept calling her, trying to get her to change her story, retract her statement, to make some speech with him, you know, showing that they'd made a connection when he hadn't even apologized or anything. Anyway, so this just made the matter blow up bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think everybody watching this happen, especially women, but I think plenty of men as well, were like, this is pretty terrible behavior. Why doesn't this guy just apologize? Why doesn't he do better? Most people have stayed supporting the player, and they've all refused to play until he is removed from his position. Consequences will be happening eventually.
Good.
So yes, it was quite shocking, really, just to see his reaction. You know, he could have said it was a mistake. He could have.
In the heat of the moment.
In the heat of the moment, I'm so sorry. You know, that's unacceptable. I should have asked you. Why would he
defend himself
and destroy his own career in the process for his own pride? I don't even know. Anyway, moving on to the question section.
Okay.
So in some European countries, it is common for people to kiss and hug even when greeting one another. So I think Spain is one of these cultures. You know, you've probably seen it on television. Often the mwah, mwah. The number of kisses can vary from nation to nation. But this is a formal greeting. You know, we're not talking about random kisses in the middle of a football game. But if you're not used to that, if it's perhaps your first time experiencing that and you're not prepared, it might feel quite shocking. So have you ever experienced anything like this? Perhaps a surprising, uncomfortable gesture?
I mean, not kissing directly. That would be extremely uncomfortable for me, but fortunately I have not experienced that. But in America, hugging is quite normal for a greeting, and I am not a physical touch person when it comes to people who are not very close to me. And even, well, it's basically girlfriends or whatever, someday wife maybe. Like, that's fine. Everything else, no. Everyone else, no. No physical contact, shake of the hand. So I do remember one time, I tried to be part of American culture in that way and like give people hugs, like, oh, okay, fine, hug. But one time I wasn't ready. I was talking to someone and I turn around and my friend is like, oh, hey, and just automatic recoil. I was like, whoa. I was like, you got to warn me before hugging me. Not that type of person. I'll hug you now, but you got to warn me. Yeah, and I realized, I was like, I'm just not that person. And I will never be. Okay.
Yeah.
Korea's great. Bowing from afar. I'm like, good. Stay there. I'll stay here. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is why, you know, whatever cultural background you come from, when it comes to physical touch, it's perhaps always wise to ask.
Yeah.
If you're meeting someone for the first time, you don't know how comfortable they are. So yeah.
Yeah.
And just because your culture is a touchy one, like say America or Spain, it doesn't mean that everyone is going to accept your touches in every situation. Ruby Alice should have been more aware of this. You know, Americans need to be aware of this around John. We're not all the same, you know.
If it was the heat of the moment, like if it was that type of stuff, why that one person and no one else? That's also another. Anyways, there's so many holes in this story. Yeah.
Yeah, and apparently this wasn't the first time either.
Shocking.
Yeah, other people have experienced the same, been uncomfortable with it, and he has refused to change his behaviour repeatedly. So if you think we're talking crazy stuff here, go and take a look at the video clip. I'm sure it's there on YouTube or it's all over social media at this point. What do you think about this clip? Take a look. And maybe leave a comment below this video, how acceptable do you think this is? I'm sure once you've had a look, you're going to have some opinions, I think. But after that, in your comment, if you would like to practice perhaps some words and phrases from this article, if don't mince your words, get right down to it, check out the vocabulary section, see what you can use in your comments, and hopefully that will help you to learn them even better. And we will see you in the next article.
Jubilantly.
Jubilantly.
Hearty.
Hearty.
Euphoric.
Euphoric.
Witch hunt.
Witch hunt.
The tip of the iceberg.
The tip of the iceberg.